Hey friends, hi everybody. I don't know who's watching in the world and what generation you grew up in, but I was doing the Wayne's World countdown for my team. So hopefully you caught that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. You guys, this is such a very special LinkedIn Live because I have my team here. And we are going to talk about all the things that LPC and their individual businesses has seen over 2024 and what we are expecting for 2025. So, our dear friend Melissa here is having camera trouble, but that is okay. She has a beautiful photo. So, you guys can see what she looks like, and her microphone works. That's all that matters.
I'm here.
Exactly. So, Melissa, why don't you kick it off? And I'd love everyone to give a little introduction about who they are, what they do, and then we'll kind of just go around and talk about what you've seen in your own businesses in 2024 and LPC. But Melissa, kick us off.
Sure. Thanks, Lauren. I'm Melissa Dorsky. I own Melissa Dorsky Designs. I'm just about at a year celebrating my business. Thank you. And I help small business owners and entrepreneurs with their marketing needs, mostly graphics in Canva. I'm a Canva creator. And I work with Lauren and team, assisting her businesses and her clients with their marketing graphics as well. A lot of social media graphics, presentation templates, all of the things that busy business owners are typically not able to get to on their own, or maybe they don't have the skill set or desire to create graphics. And that's where I come in.
Love it. Stephanie, tell us who you are.
Yes, I am Stephanie Boyle, and I am the owner of byFriday, and I handle administrative services for small business owners. So I handle everything from, the back end scheduling and email organization to the more higher end operations manager, which is what I do for Lauren Perna Communications, where I kind of make sure that all the different parts of the company are working together to give the product that Lauren wants to produce. So, and then my favorite part of what byFriday does is just partner with people and hear about their companies and hear about their dreams and their desires and help them get to their goals. So that's my favorite part of what I do.
Oh, I love that. I just got chills hearing that. Amanda, bring us home. Tell us who you are.
I'm Amanda Lane. I also work for byFriday as an admin, and I work under Stephanie, and I'm kind of her right-hand gal.
Love it.
And take on all the tasks that she likes to give me. And we've had a lot of great growth just in the last couple of months, which is exciting because I'm getting more and more different kinds of opportunities. And yeah.
I love it. So, Stephanie, I'm going to pick on you first. What have you seen in your business over 2024 that, like, the trends, what's in, what's out? Tell us about 2024. Oh, she made it.
So yeah, something that I've seen really, really blow up this year is the accountability partners. And these business owners, I feel like the solo entrepreneurs and small business owner world really blew up in the last few years, but everybody was kind of on their own island, and they were working in their own echo chamber and bouncing ideas off of themselves. But a lot of business owners are starting to work with one another and bring people like me into their business so that they're able to kind of have outside perspectives and outside ideas to help their business grow. And, oh, hey, I didn't think of that, or, oh, hey, that's a new idea. And so that's something that I've seen really blow up this year that wasn't really prevalent when I started my company in 2021. But in 2024, I'm noticing so many more people, not wanting to be alone. They want to bring more people in. They don't want to work alone in their office by themselves. They want to see a lot more people come into their business.
I love that. That's such an interesting perspective because, we are all in our own echo chambers, just really kind of, pounding the pavement. That's what we do best as entrepreneurs. And, even if you work in a corporation, you know that you have deadlines and things to do and you kind of just keep going. But it is nice to kind of stop and, all right, how can I get some outside perspectives?
Exactly.
Melissa, how about you from the graphics perspective and design? What are you noticing?
Yeah, I think I feel like trends are maybe not as big for your clients as they are for small business owners, but I still think that people want to stay relevant. So brushing off some old or former graphics that they pushed aside for a little while, and bringing those back with a fresh perspective, whether it's new content, new copy. Just refreshing their graphics. I see a lot of rebranding going on, even for some of the older companies. So I feel like that again is just this like refresh. Let's get into whatever time period that they feel like they missed out on. They're finally crawling out and getting back. And then just really trying to own their zones of genius. I feel like that's something that your thought leadership platform has talked a lot about. That comes through in the graphics as well, supporting their, what they want to share.
I know, it's such a good point, because thought leadership is where LinkedIn is going, as we know. And yes, of course, you could just put content out there, but we all know graphics, video, design is going to complement that and just move the needle even more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amanda, how about you from the kind of back end? And Amanda does a lot of the scheduling in social media and the kind of back end of social media. What have you seen?
I think I've had a really interesting opportunity to kind of see all the different companies and how they approach things differently, how frequently they post, what kinds of graphics they use, how much text they use versus our hashtags, things like that. I am excited to get more into like seeing the metrics coming up in the next year, to actually see more concretely like the data of what's performing better than other things. I think video has been huge this year. A lot of those short form videos seem to be something that has become really prevalent and is doing well overall, I think.
Yeah, yes, and that is why we're here, friends. It is I think video really dovetails back onto that September conversation that we had with Alicia, Michelle, and Bethany about recycling. It is so versatile.
Yeah, even just watching like these lives that you're doing and how they're broken up into the clips and then reused over and over and over again. You can make 10, 20 different posts out of just this one half an hour live, and it really is just never ending.
It's awesome. And I, as much as I love writing and long form posts, as you guys know, you do have to keep up with the trends. And yeah, Amanda's right. That video is exactly what's happening. And I think it is just a testament to what we always say, is that people like to do business with people. And seeing our beautiful faces, even if it's only our avatar, as Melissa realized when we first jumped on, almost our faces. People love that, and I think just the ability to have that interaction with someone before even meeting them is huge. You feel like you know them, and that's why, people become influencers, because they give their raw self and people are like, oh my God, I feel like I know them. So it definitely makes a lot of sense. How about from the LPC perspective? What have you guys seen? Now, I think, yeah, Melissa, you kind of alluded to it, is that my clientele is a little different. We work in kind of a more traditional industry. The life science, healthcare realm isn't as attuned to the trends, because that's there's so many restrictions and protocols involved with posting. So what have you seen? How about Stephanie, kick us off? What have you seen in our business?
Yeah. So something that, not to shamelessly plug the thing that we're doing right now, but I really have noticed that that these LinkedIn Lives have made a huge difference, not only in bringing all of your clients together, kind of on a platform that, they may hear something about their own business. You may drop a tidbit about, working with XYZ client, without saying their name, they'll know, oh, hey, yeah, I got mentioned in the LinkedIn Live. And I think it also brought our team together as well, that it kind of created like these lives and putting these together have really created kind of a team building as well, because we are all in our own different worlds. But, Melissa creates the graphics and I'm reaching out to the guests, and, you're creating the content for the live. And so I think that it's been a nice, across the board, spike in this year. Like, it's been really, really fun to watch.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so awesome to hear. I didn't even think of that with the, group camaraderie. And I think that we've come to a good place where we have it down. In the beginning it was a little chaotic, and I was doing so much of the talking, and that was very stressful, and a lot on me to come up with all this content. So by the time I realized guests would be easier, we came up with this beautiful protocol and procedures, and now it just feels like, okay, we just, my biggest role is finding guests. So that's a shameless plug that if you're watching, you're interested in joining us, please, we'll send, we'll put a link to the form at the end in the comments, so you guys can fill that out.
Yeah.
Melissa, how about you, from your graphic design perspective? What's been happening in LPC land?
I think a lot of the clients have been leveraging templates, which is really great because they want a sense of consistency, and they just happen to have that in their content. So they regularly post about the same types of things, and so it's a little bit easier to prepare the content that way. And I think for their audiences to consume it, because they're not wondering what they're going to see. They're kind of, I feel like once you have that sort of consistency, people look forward to seeing your content. Like, oh, here's what I'm going to see. And their brain doesn't have to work so hard. So it's almost like satisfying that little rush that you get with those short form videos, regardless of what content it's in. If it's familiar, they just get to see, they don't have to get acclimated to the graphic again and again. They just have to read that it's a new person joining the team, or whatever the template is for. So I feel like that's really helpful. And then it also helps to tee up the type of content that we're doing. So in the actual planning every month for what's going out there. So yeah, I feel like I've seen a rise in template use on the back end for sure.
Yeah, and that really speaks to the, type of clients that I work with, the more, traditional kind of conservative type of clients that, do work in industries that are kind of surrounded by a lot of protocol and whatnot. So, I think that's what's kind of fun for us, because you do have to think really creatively and outside of the box to stay in their box. We can't just like, oh, let's follow this big trend and see how it does. We are really brainstorming to figure out, like, all right, what kind of graphics can we do that stay within their parameters, but also call attention and don't just, get lost in the sea. So I actually think, a lot of times people feel like, oh, like if you work in a kind of more traditional, regimented industry, it's not boring. It's boring, not as fun. But no, it's such a challenge. And I think that's truly what I like about writing content. And I feel like that's kind of, where you step in with the graphics. It's kind of fun for you to figure out, like, all right, what can we do? I feel like your wheels are always turning when we have something to talk about those.
It might be standard for them, but it's still custom and personalized for them.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But it keeps it on brand. That's branding across the board. I know if I see this border, I'm looking at this client's work, and it makes it, like I said, consistent.
Yeah, it's that, and it's everything that Laura Macaron talked about in her LinkedIn Live, just about the consistency. It is so important, and it doesn't have to be matchy. It just has to be consistent, and I think that's what you're so good at, is like tying in all the brand elements. Amanda, how about you? I feel like you have a cool perspective because you kind of have come in this year and like risen through the company and seen all the things, and you're our newest member. So give us the lowdown. What have you seen with LPC?
I feel like something that has really stood out to me with LPC, it's sort of piggybacking on like what Steph said, is the collaboration and kind of the emphasis on that. I love, like, I get to do all the posting for these LinkedIn lives. And I think like seeing the beautiful graphics and everyone's faces on them, kind of like hyping up the event coming up, and then tagging people so that everyone can kind of check them out ahead of time. And then seeing oftentimes like that person is in the comments, like, I'm so excited to come on and get to chat with you. It's just like, I feel like it's very special, I think, in this industry, and a lot of them, where it's not competition, it is like people are lifting each other up. And I think that is very special. And that's something that I think would stand out to a lot of people, at least it does to me.
Oh my goodness, that gave me chills too. I love that. And that collaboration over competition is a theme you will see like running across all the women's entrepreneur circles that I run in. It's very true that, when we collaborate, we go so much further. And I think that, we all come from a corporate world prior to this. And I do truly feel that is something that coming from that corporate environment, you just don't realize. In my mind, it was kind of a dog eat dog world where women were always pitted against each other. And, I don't think it had anything to do with one company in particular. I think that was just, we're all elder millennials here. And I think that was just the world that we grew up in, the culture that we grew up in. And I know that Gen Z is trying to change that. God bless them. But I think that all of us can agree coming into the entrepreneurial world is such a breath of fresh air, because we did all grow up in that environment where, you felt like you had to stay at a job for a long time. You felt like you had to just do the thing and be the person that they wanted you to be. But I love that, we are able to bring everyone together in their true authentic self. And I do think that's why video is so popular.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, so now, Amanda, I'm going to pick on you to go first. Where do you see things going in 2025? I mean, for LPC, but also just in general for your business, and let's call it like small business in general.
Yeah, I think, at least for me personally, I'm sort of like the last person at the end of the line, I feel like, with a lot of stuff. So I'm excited to kind of see more or participate more in the like maybe creation of content. I do really love making those short form videos that I do from this. I like video editing a lot, or like I said, seeing more of the like metrics of how posts are doing, sort of getting able to kind of dig into some of that stuff more, that I've just kind of been getting to observe and like see.
Oh, well, noted. That's awesome. Stephanie, how about you? What are you predicting?
Yeah, I am seeing so much collaboration, and I'm seeing so much, like, to your point about the women entrepreneurial circles. I'm seeing just like these tribes building up, and instead of being on our own islands, we're going to be a whole series of islands and working together to really just push each other's companies forward, and let everyone know that the corporate America is not the way to go. There are other alternative ways to do it, and there are really beautiful ways to do it. In watching this, I mean, this is my job, really. This is what I get to do at 9 a.m. instead of going into an office, and I think that that's really going to catch on, and so many more people are going to see the beauty in this, and the uplifting, removing that dog eat dog, and just kind of going forward in this just peaceful kind of world.
Yeah, I mean, make no mistake, being an entrepreneur is not always peaceful.
Oh, it's not easy by any means.
Not easy, but it's definitely I think for people like us that are those kind of square pegs in a round hole type of deal, entrepreneurship and working with small business owners is just truly gives me life. I don't know about you guys, but these ladies are all part of the Chronic Boss with us. And I think you guys can attest the fact that, when you do have to live with pain every day or a chronic condition every day, something like entrepreneurship is just a beautiful fit, because you really do have the flexibility. But even if you don't have a chronic condition, even if you don't, need to take time away for a sickness, being able to work for yourself is just a beautiful thing for people that want that ability to thrive separately and not have to follow a path.
Yeah. Single mothers too. I mean, that's really where my company goes, is for the single mothers. And, we still want to get our kids off the bus, but we still want to work for ourselves.
Exactly. It's just a new spin on traditional way of life. We have to work, so we might as well make it fun. You work so much of your life. Melissa, bring us home. What are you seeing for 2025?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to take a little bit from everything of what you all said. I feel like personal branding is huge, and that's on the rise. I feel like for a few reasons, though, especially in the entrepreneur space, if you develop your personal brand and you make a name for yourself that way, you can kind of dip your toes in different areas of business without feeling like, oh no, now I have to start over. So people know who you are, you're established, and guess what? You're an entrepreneur who has a multi-passionate entrepreneur who has a few different things up your sleeve. And for me, when I started in this space, I was in a very different industry and it didn't really suit me. So I was able to, through community, through people like Lauren, find my passion in what I'm doing now. And I think it'll be a long-term gig for me, but the world is moving so fast. You never know, there might be a new opportunity in another couple of years that shuts down my business or shifts my business, and I still exist. So as long as I've established my personal brand, the people who want to stick with me and either be my clients, be my partners, just be supporters of me, will know how to find me and support me. So I feel like that is really important from a personal branding standpoint.
Oh, mic drop. That was such a good way to end. And I completely agree. And I do think that is such an important part of today's world where things are always shifting. As much as I love the writing, now I know that people are much more into quick 30-second clips than reading long form blogs. So I'm trying to adapt, and that's, one of the reasons that I try and stay as versatile as possible, because the world is moving fast. And if you're not careful, you'll never get out alive. I don't know what that's from, but I feel like something millennial. Anyways, this was awesome, you guys. I feel so honored to have you all on my team. I'm so honored to see your businesses thrive. And Amanda, I'm so honored to see you thrive as a key partner to Stephanie. That is so cool, especially as I try to build my business. Stephanie and I are kind of in the same frame of business building, and it's really cool to see somebody else like bring on team members and know that everybody can do their own thing and still partner with me. I think that's been a beautiful model. So it has just been such an honor watching you guys all thrive and having you part of my world and helping you with this beautiful LinkedIn Live.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, Lauren, you have such a beautiful collection of people, and the people that you bring into your circle are always just so wonderful. And I'm honored that you have me in your space, because I've gotten to meet these incredible people like Melissa and, all the other guests on your show, Alicia and Laura and et cetera, et cetera. And so thank you for being that, that collector of wonderful people.
Oh, I love that. That is awesome. I'm a collector. Well, and so next week we are going to talk to Melissa and Michelle Hakunda and Brian Reiser and Abby Thompson about marketing, where marketing is going to go. Each of them has a unique perspective, which is super cool. And that'll be our final LinkedIn Live of the year. It has been just a beautiful year, and what a great way to cap things off then, talking about what we do best, marketing communications. So tune into that. I think you'll find some really interesting tidbits from these folks. They're all experts in their field. So be sure to tune in for our very last LinkedIn Live. All right, guys. All right. Thank you, everyone. Happy Friday.
Thank you.
Thanks.